This is Ice Cream Gecko, and in today's video I'm going to take a look at the Häagen-Dazs salted caramel ice cream. Now this has been sitting in my freezer for quite some time, so I do not remember what I paid for it. The only thing I do remember is that I bought it on sale, and I bought 3 different ones of them, but I've been postponing these reviews for too long now, I guess. So let's take a quick glance at the outside of it. It's out of the freezer for a few minutes, but you can see still quite a bit of ice forming here. Maybe the humidity is still a bit too high and the ice cream is still a bit too cold. The nutrition table is right here. I think you can read that. Most of that is not really all that difficult to translate into English. We of course do not have English ingredients in here, written on here. A product by General Mills, and that's really it for the English descriptions of this, except for the salted caramel name. I was quite interested in this kind of ice cream. They are really going for quite a few exotic kind of flavorings at the moment. And they've got this chai latte thing. I've also got that in the freezer, but that's going to take another week or so for me to get to. So let's open this up. I'm usually not a big pint ice cream guy, but I thought to myself, well, they were reduced in price, so I'm gonna go for it. And since I'm not really a big Ben & Jerry's fan, I prefer Häagen-Dazs, I thought, well, let's go for it. Get a few of those and see how we do. 10 to 15 minutes is what we shall keep this outside for before trying to consume it. I think we're not quite there yet, but I guess we are okay. So the first impression, I've got to say, okay. We've got a, let me get those tweezers out. We've got a bit of caramel stuff right here. They are supposed to be caramel chunks, small ones in here. We've got one of those right here too. The ice cream itself, the base ice cream, is yellowish. That's caramel ice cream. And that is really the theme, caramel ice cream. We've got caramel base ice cream, we've got caramel pieces in here, salted of course, and a whole pint of it. So I'm going to give it a first little spoonful of a taste test. It does look pretty. It really does. So the first spoonful really, I think, is setting the scales for what's to come, because this apparently is not deeply entwined with some kind of swirls and stuff. Just a few that you see right now as well, right here. There are some salted caramel swirls and some pieces and all. Oh, that's looking good. Look, we've got a decent amount of caramel cream in there. So rather basic of a setup. That's not bad though, because I've got to say the first spoonful that I had just now really tastes rather nice. Salted caramel ice cream, and there's no other way to describe that. Quite wholesome actually. And so is this sauce. I do not remember where I tasted this before, but there are some salted caramel treats that taste exactly like this ice cream, which is great. And of course this is not only caramel ice cream, but nicely swirled into with salted caramel sauce. That's really enjoyable, I've got to say. Close up of that, of the spoon. It's quite nice. So with the first spoonful that I had, I thought to myself, well, right here at the top, you see, this is not a sharp spoon in any way. So I thought, well, I'm gonna have a hard time getting into that and actually eating it, because on top here we've got like the ice cream base, caramel ice cream base, and it's kind of a difficult thing to do, to get into that when it's rather cold, as it is right now. But once you're down here and you kind of shovel your way into one of these caramel swirls, it really comes alive. It gets really creamy. Really nice texture mix, I almost want to say. And I've got to say it's really pleasant, and to me personally, because I usually do not have these kinds of ice creams, rather unusual, but nothing unpleasant, not in the slightest. I really enjoy this. It's weird to see caramel at a almost frozen stage. being, well, it's not frozen by itself, but it's below the freezing point, still in the bottom right there, to be actually liquid. And I'm impressed. It tastes really nice. And I think we've got ourselves a little chunk right here, a little salted caramel chunk. Now it's falling off. It's melting a little bit, the ice cream around it. I'll give this a taste test real quick. Now, will you come to me? Come to me, my friend. Yeah, that's actually quite decent. It's got a bit of a bite to it. That's nice. And when you get an entire spoonful of the ice cream, that's a nice distraction from just ice cream. An actual little chunk in there that's not too mushy or not too runny. It's got some decent consistency to it. So with full points in the consistency section, we go on to the color section. And I've got to say, this looks just right. There's nothing to moan about. I've got the base ice cream that's got a nice caramelly tint to it. I've got the caramel swirl in here. Swirls. Well, of course we're not getting to the complete bottom, to the bedrock in any way in this video, but it does look just like it should do. Just like I would expect a caramel ice cream to look, with caramel swirls in there, so I guess that's full marks again. So I carved my way down to almost to the bedrock. I'm right now at the diamond level, and I've got to say, in taste regards, it's quite good. It is, of course, not as exciting as Ben & Jerry's ice creams, because, to be honest, this is just an entire pint of a very homogeneous type of ice cream. And something to note about that is that you might want to reduce your portion sizes and not have one of these entirely in one go, because it does get a bit boring after a while. But since I'm kind of paranoid about companies and their kind of marketing things and getting around little sneaky ways around reviews, I of course have to dig my way down to the bottom, and I've noticed there's another one. Well, quite a few salted caramel chunks in here, and there's another one right there. I'm just getting to the spherical surface of that at this moment in time. So I've got to give, again, full points in the taste department, because I've got to say this is so far a well-rounded item that I can surely recommend. Value for money. Usually those things right here go for about $6 here in Germany. At the moment, €6, that is, in the year of 2019. So that's okay of a price, I guess, but I'm usually not buying ice cream for €6 or €7, like, ever. I usually wait for them to be on sale and then I go for them, because simply these pint ice creams, I rarely ever eat them in one go, and then you've got a kind of an already broken seal ice cream in the freezer, and then you kind of feel like old getting back to that, and you're just eating way too much rather unhealthy stuff in one go every time with these pints. So I usually prefer smaller ice creams, like little cornettos or something like that. So this is a more rare occasion for me, but I still have got to say the price is not too bad. But if they're on sale, like, that's really good. Like, I think I paid about €4, maybe a bit over that, for this, and that's stellar. That's absolutely stellar. I would definitely go for more of these for that kind of price. But usually, like I said, $7 or just under $7 is a bit steep. I'm a university student at the end of the day, and I've got to watch my pennies. Bonus points? No bonus points today. I mean, after all, this is an ice cream that says what it is, and it's good how it is, so no need for any bonus points. I think it's in good shape already. With all points added up, I'm coming to a rating of 8.75 on a scale from 1 to 10. And I think that's quite decent for an ice cream like this. Not too special, rather classic kind of flavor to it. Salted caramel, like that's nothing new, and that has been in the ice cream market for quite a while. But it is a nice treat, and I've got to say the execution of this theme by Häagen-Dazs has been beautiful. 8.75 again is the rating for this ice cream, and on this it is time for me to end. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and hopefully I'm going to see you soon. Until then, goodbye.